Don't fly too close to the sun. A Dream by the great Count Uzi. Sponsored by the Mind of Dreamers. Chapter 1. The first chill. The subway didn't move so much as breathe. Metal lungs, slow, reluctant, alive. Izzy sat alone in the corner, knees slightly apart, notebook tucked under his arm like something fragile. The fluorescent lights flickered overhead, washing everyone in the same sick shade of pale, equalizing strangers into ghosts. His reflection stared back at him from the window. Then it doubled. Then it blurred. For a second, just a second, it smiled when he didn't. Izzy leaned forward, exhaling onto the glass. The fog spread like a quiet confession. Without thinking, he dragged his fingertip across it. A line, curving upward. A wing. He froze. Outside, darkness tunneled endlessly. Inside, the car rattled like bones in a box. The mind burns hot in summer, his thoughts whispered. But fall cools everything. A man across from him coughed. A woman scrolled endlessly. A teenager laughed too loudly at something no one else could hear. Izzy looked at them, really looked. For a flicker of a moment, they weren't strangers. They were versions of him. Different endings, different failures, different survivals. He blinked, and they snapped back into place like actors hitting their marks. The train screeched into the next station. Doors opened, cold air rushed in. And for the first time in months, Izzy felt it. Stillness, not peace, not yet, but something quieter than chaos, something honest. He stepped off the train and didn't look back. The park at dusk. The city exhaled differently above ground. Leaves scraped across pavement like whispers you weren't meant to hear. Izzy walked without direction, hands buried deep in his coat pockets. The park opened before him like a memory he hadn't asked for. Gold and amber scattered across the earth, trees standing tall like witnesses to something ancient. Children laughed in the distance. It hit him harder than it should have. Not joy, no. Clarity. Their laughter wasn't complicated. It didn't carry weight. It didn't echo with regret or second-guessing. It just existed. Izzy slowed near a tree, pressing his palm against the bark. Rough, cold, real. He closed his eyes. Illusions feed on heat and haste, his mind murmured. Summer had been noise, heat, motion, endless chasing, ideas, identities, versions of himself that burned bright and disappeared faster. But here, now, everything felt stripped, simplified. The wind pushed through the branches, and a single leaf broke free, spiraling down between his feet. He watched it land. The veins in it were perfect, clear, unapologetic. Truth whispers softer than a child's laugh, he thought, clearer than the veins in a fallen leaf. A couple walked past him mid-argument. A runner slowed to catch their breath. An older man fed birds like it was ritual, not habit. Izzy studied them all. No one was performing. No one was trying to be infinite. They were just being. And for the first time, that didn't feel like failure. It felt like something close to freedom. Chapter 2. The Cafe of Unraveling. The bell above the cafe door chimed like a quiet announcement. You made it this far. Warmth wrapped around Izzy immediately. Coffee, cinnamon, low conversation humming beneath everything like a steady baseline. He chose a corner table. Always the corner. Back to the wall. View of the room. Control, even when he pretended it didn't matter. A barista placed a cup in front of him without asking his name. Steam curled upward down, slow and deliberate. Izzy stared into it. The swirl shifted, twisted. For a brief, impossible moment, it looked like smoke from something burning far away. Then it dissolved back into nothing. He opened his notebook. Blank page. Pen hovering. Minutes passed. Maybe longer. Finally, he wrote, "What remains after illusion fades." He stared at the sentence like it might answer itself. Across the room, a woman laughed, sharp, genuine. A man nodded along to a story he clearly didn't understand. Someone typed furiously on a laptop, chasing something invisible. Life. Messy. Unresolved. Real. Izzy's fingers tightened around the pen. Inside his mind, something began to unravel. Not violently. Not like collapse. More like a thread being gently pulled loose. He imagined it. A hand holding a single strand. Pulling. Watching it loosen from the fabric, curling across wood, not destroying the structure, but revealing it. Not destruction, he thought. Release. He looked up. The window reflected him again. But this time, he wasn't alone in it. Every person in the cafe flickered into his reflection. A tired man, a hopeful student, a grieving elder. All of them him, all of them not. Consciousness isn't a map, he realized. It's a river. And for the first time, he stopped trying to control the current. The street of surrender. Night came quietly. No grand entrance. Just a slow dimming of everything loud. Izzy stepped back onto the street, the cold sharper now, intentional. Leaves spiraled through the air, caught in invisible patterns that felt almost designed. The city was still alive, but softer, more honest. He walked with no urgency, no destination pressing against him. That alone felt unfamiliar, like wearing a new skin that hadn't quite settled yet. A group of men argued outside a bar. A woman walked quickly, eyes forward, headphones in, protected. A homeless man adjusted his blanket like it was armor. Izzy saw all of it. Didn't judge it. Didn't absorb it. Just witnessed. And that was new. He stopped in the middle of the sidewalk, closed his eyes, let the cold air hit his face fully. It stung. Good. Real. Summer was war, his mind said. Images flashed. Overthinking. Overreaching. Trying to be everything at once. Burning through identities like fuel. Fall is surrender. His shoulders dropped slightly. His breath slowed. And surrender. The wind picked up, circling him. Leaves danced around his feet like they were celebrating something he didn't fully understand yet. Is the beginning of peace. A car honked in the distance. Someone laughed. Life continued. But inside him, something had shifted. Not fixed. Not healed. But aligned. Chapter 5. The Lantern and the Gentleman. The apartment building stood quiet, almost reverent. Izzy paused across the street. One window glowed. A single lantern casting warm light into the night, steady, unshaken by the wind. He stared at it longer than necessary. His notebook rested under his arm. He could feel its weight now. Not heavy, just meaningful. Inside his mind, something new began forming. Not a persona, not an illusion, but a framework. A code. Not perfection. Not performance. But intention. A gentleman is not built in noise, he thought. He is shaped in silence. Integrity. Not as a concept, but as action. Respect. Not as politeness, but as awareness. Responsibility. Not as burden, but as choice. He thought about the cafe, the park, the train, every version of himself he had seen. And for the first time, he didn't reject any of them. He accepted them as chapters. Necessary. Incomplete. Human. Character, he realized, is the only thing that doesn't dissolve when the illusion does. The wind rose again, stronger now. Leaves swept across the street, filling the frame of his vision. For a moment, it felt cinematic, like something directed, intentional, meaningful beyond explanation. Then it passed. Just wind again, just leaves, just life. Izzy looked up at the lantern one last time, then turned and walked forward. Not chasing, not running, just moving. The screen fades to black, but not empty, never empty, because somewhere, just out of view, the story continues.